let's take a look at another phrase from the movie, and that is a touch of something. A touch of something means a little bit of something. So let's practice using a touch instead of a little bit. Here's a situation. Mark didn't like the black and white painting. Or Mary, I'm sorry, Mary didn't like Mary didn't like John's black and white painting. Let's make a why not question. Why not like? Why didn't? Why didn't Mary like? Why didn't Mary like John's painting? Why didn't Mary like John's black and white painting? And here's the answer. She thought it needed a little color. It needed a little color. She thought it needed a little color. Black and white. It was a little bit boring. She thought it needed a little bit of color. Let's use a touch instead. So she thought it needed a touch of color. A touch of color. A little color. A touch of color. It needed a touch of color. She thought it needed a touch of color. She didn't like his painting. She didn't like his painting. She didn't like his painting. She didn't like his painting because she thought it needed a touch of color. Because she thought it needed a touch of color. She didn't like his painting because she thought it needed a touch of color. Let's try another example. Mark didn't like the dish he ordered at the restaurant. Let's make a why not question. Why not like? Why didn't he? Why didn't he? Why didn't he? Why didn't he like the dish that he ordered? Why didn't he like the dish that he ordered at the restaurant? Because he thought it needed a little salt, a little bit of salt. Just a little salt. Or we could use a touch of. He thought it needed a touch of salt. It needed a touch of salt. He thought it needed a touch of salt. He didn't like the dish that he ordered because he thought it needed a touch of salt. Let's try one more example. Mark and Lucy didn't like the movie. Let's ask a why not question. Why not like? Why not? Why didn't? Why didn't they? Why didn't they like? Why didn't they like the movie? And here's the reason. It was too serious. It needed a little humor. It needed a little humor. It needed a touch of humor. It needed a touch of humor. It was too serious and needed a touch of humor. They didn't like the movie because it was too serious and it needed a touch of humor. They didn't like it because it was too serious and it needed a touch of humor. All right, so hopefully that phrase, a touch of, a little bit of something, is more clear for you now. Oh, I forgot to change this. This is important. I have to, because I'm going to cut these up and I want these to show, except I've already messed this one up. Well, I'm still going to put a touch of something here. So we'll put it up here, and that way we have a picture of it at some point. Well, I don't know. Touch. Why did I put tough?